So welcome to Azerbaijan. Here's your tour. It's 5 stages, some more punishing than others, but it's drawn the quick men from around the world. Good to see. There are some climbing days, particularly the penultimate day, and as you can see, we talk about the wind, and it has blown up today. Baku to Sumgayit, as you can see, and 154 kilometers in the offering. Just one climb today, and then a 5-lap circuit at the end of today. So tempting a breakaway for a jersey, as we will definitely have a King of the Mountain by the end of this day, albeit a reasonably flat course along the way. So should be a quick finish, that's for sure. So 5 laps, make sure you count them, because passage of the line does not count as a lap, at least for the first time. So 5 times of asking at the end. Well, they all signed up for, well, a bit of punishment, to be honest. Temperature 17 Celsius, not too warm, although with a southerly direction to the wind at 21 kilometers an hour. As you can see, the national flag there actually standing proud upon the staff. Talking about staff, sign on time, and some pretty handy riders have turned up. Just warming up the legs, the quick men today. A warm welcome to you, by the way. My name's Carlton Kirby. Sitting alongside me is Magnus Baxted. Magnus, Bora Argon, no doubt that they are the prize team within this race, and they've brought some pretty handy riders with them.
They certainly have done. Jan Barta is here. We've got Phil Bauhaus, Scott Thwaites. So I think they've brought a strong team here to do a good one.
I was second last year, so I want to be competitive again and finally get it.
I'm first time in Azerbaijan. For me, it's new country and new race.
What do you expect from the race?
The race, it's a little bit with smaller teams, and I think it will be not that control than the races in Europe, but we will see.
What is your personal ambition?
I think we have to ride like the team and try to win every day if it's possible.
There we are. They've got the firepower to do so. Baku flag square, race director Roland Hofer of Switzerland getting us underway. And Jan Barta, who we just spoke to, reasonably confident that he or a member of his team can carry this one. We'll see how they go. Interesting, Magnus, that he described it as quite an open race with not a great deal of control in the offing. And it sounded like he was actually relishing the prospect.
Yeah, well, it's always nice to get to do some of these races where the pressure isn't quite on you all the time, but obviously, like you said, there's some smaller teams here that sort of they should be able to compete with on every single day. But because there are smaller teams as well, there's riders that you don't quite know how fast they are, how strong they are, and certainly some of the teams, then it becomes more difficult to control the bike race. Certainly bringing it back for bunch sprints and so on. We're here with 6-man teams, which also means that you're lacking a significant amount of firepower to control the stage out on the road.
So roll yourself into this one. We just saw Mauro Finetto a few moments ago from Uniero Ovilia. This, by the way, is the Bibi Hayat Mosque, yeah, the borders of which were the original first ever oil well. Did you know that?
No,
they started boring here for oil in 1844. So, in fact, it was the first time they'd actually sought oil with a drill on planet Earth. Well, there you go. I must admit, I'm astounded by that. But there you go. Beautiful city walls, as you can see, so very much the ancient mixed with the modern, and I think that's what Azerbaijan is about. What's this man about? Bidding for glory, and this is more. This is Zamri Saleh. Now, he's been Malaysian road racing champion on a couple of occasions. He's also finished twice top 10 in the Tour of Thailand. 32 years of age right now, but it looks like a battle for a mission to madness, Magnus. But there is a jersey up for grabs here, and if he can stay out to the first KOM of the day, the only one in fact, then he'll have a jersey at the end of the day, and I think job done probably.
Well, it's certainly job done for him and his team, and you know, the jerseys are important for every team, and certainly for the sponsors as well. You get, you know, quite a bit more coverage, certainly in the media, the written media.
All knocked back here, as you can see. Time for us to consider some of the fast men who are in this race. Jason Lance for Drapac, either he or William Clark. They've got a decent team around them. Giuseppe Fonzi, we know about him for the Southeast. That's the Villa Triestina Southeast team. Check-in as well for Team Roth. Boivin for the Cycling Academy team. Temeridis and Avarin for Synergy Baku. And a few others as well. Wackermann and Vikas for Dubai. Nocentini and De La Fuente as well for the Sporting Tavira team. Time to take in some of the ancient sites here, of which there are many. 6,000 prehistoric engravings on this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Somebody out there was busy chiseling away quite some time ago. This man, I don't know what he crafted, but he's managed to get himself a King of the Mountains jersey. Job well done, I think, for Salah. He had his target, Magnus, and he achieved it. Good for him.
Well, definitely good day out, and you know, it's important for these teams as well to get a man out in the breakaway, and not only does it set a little bit of pressure on teams to ride, but it also means that there's a calmness for the rest of his teammates in the bunch.
This salty lake, by the way, has got a lot of salts in it, potassium, which is why it looks pink. Lake Masazir. Welcome back. We're on the Absaron Peninsula, about 30 kilometers east of Baku. Amazing, this part of the world. Here we have the Eternal Fire. It's not lit anymore, but it was for a long time. Tourists on to the fire temple, presumably to look at the fire, but yeah, it's not there anymore. We race on. Well, the pentagonal complex clearly still well and truly alight, so sorry if I misguided you. These guys are lighting it up as well. They've decided to have some fun with us today. Well, the wind playing a part, and Alexander Evtushenko, I beg your pardon. Very good time trialist, and that's the sort of mood you need if you're going to be out and in a breakaway, and he's made it. Apologies, I've just got myself a bit of a sneeze going on here. I finally managed to sort myself out. Kulimbetov as well, also out there, and he also a very good road racer and time trialist for Kazakhstan. In fact, national road race champion in, I think he may even be, no, not defending, I've got to tell you, but has gone very, very well in the national roads in the past. School children have absolutely poured out. Great fans here of the world of cycling, and that's great to see. It's good also that the government here have certainly backed the sport and decided that this is almost a fulfillment of the aim of the nation to keep themselves healthy, happy, and why not cycling? It's a fabulous sport, and we get to see the most beautiful parts of the city as well.
Yeah, we certainly do, and racing is on as well, and Synergy Baku, one of the teams, are clearly out here to show themselves off to the home crowd, and you know, try and.
This is interesting. We've got a man who's joined them. This is Elchin Asadov from Synergy Baku Cycling Project. Now, he is the Azerbaijan time trialing champion. So we mentioned also a time trialist who's part of the push. That is Kulimbetov. And also Evtushenko of Gazprom, who's a very good time trialist, 3 times national under-23 time trial champion for Russia. Time trialing at a moment like this, when you're on a city circuit, Magnus, is a very, very handy thing to have in terms of a skill, setting a rhythm and just maintaining your distance on the chasers.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially if you're out front and you've got a clear line and can use the apex of the corners to your favour. You don't have to accelerate too hard out of the turns, and that just means that you can sustain a more sort of stable power output really throughout this this stage.
It is a testy circuit, this one. Plenty of turns, and it's easy to stay out of sight on a number of occasions. It does get very warm in the summer here, and you see these bricks. They have an expansion gap around all of them, so slightly rattly, and it can feel a little bit uncomfortable as well, as you can see, Magnus.
Well,
it's proper pavé, this.
It's borderline classics, this is.
Yeah,
but,
fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because there's one strip of cobbles there in the middle by the white line, which are effectively laid lengthways instead, which will be an awful lot smoother if you're coming into the finish and you can put yourself on that particular strip. Then you're likely to be able to have a fair amount of more traction than you can anywhere else on this road. And you can see the Argon Bora Argon riders getting straight onto that particular strip there, and
yeah, making life easy for themselves. You saw Asadov and the trembles going through his arms. Essentially, he was the shock absorbers as the rest chase on. Some beautiful pictures here, by the way. So smoothing it out is what it is all about. Try and get the easiest route home. Whether it'll be easy by the end is anyone's guess. The crowds really have absolutely poured into town for this one, which is great news. So we've now got ourselves a quartet with Andreas Keuser, also joining the fun, number 122 from the Kuwait Cycling Project. They always go well, particularly in this part of the world. Ali Muslim of the Kuwaiti part of this team, going extremely well in the Tour of Abu Dhabi, I seem to remember last year. So a quartet now out front, and you need all the firepower you can get, I guess, if you're going to hold off what is going to be a pretty determined chasing pack. The gap, well, the maximum gap earlier on today, about 8.5 minutes, but that is absolutely tumbling right now. And on these arrow straight highways, kind of easy to control your prey when they're within vision, I guess, Magnus.
Well, it's obviously very easy to keep control of the time gap, and but I think the main issue with this particular race is going for the teams is going to be that they only have 6 men out there, which means they can only afford to really waste 1, maximum 2 riders before they're coming in for the sprint, and it just means that there is very little margin for error.
Third past you the finish line, and the gap down to just under a minute. You'll see the clock count down right now. And indeed, we're back down to 3 out in the front. A shame that Andreas Keuser couldn't make it. He was only there for a short while. He's done a lot of expended a lot of energy to get back to that trio out front, and I think he's paying the price right now, Magnus.
Yeah, I think so. It's a problem for any rider who tries to bridge a gap. You put an awful lot of effort into to get across to the breakaway, and then when you get there, all you need is for you to arrive at the wrong time and get put into difficulty straight away on a small climb, or even across these cobblestones is going to be difficult for some of the riders to maintain that speed.
Just seeing Sporting Tavira coming to the fore right now as well in the green and blue, along with Bora, and there's the chase down. Not much of a gap, and they don't look overly stressed at the moment, Magnus. We're not seeing full speed chase down just now.
No, far from it. They're seeming very, very happy and controlled in the bunch there. No one's really panicking about, and certainly the pace isn't all that high if seeing as all the riders are bunched together, really.
So there we are. I'm not quite sure what the slow-mo of them crossing the line is telling us, but you can see the vibrations that they're suffering here, and indeed sustaining. It's a tiring thing, isn't it, a surface such as this?
Well, cobblestones are very difficult to ride on, regardless of how, whether it's a Paris-Roubaix cobbles or your local street where they put stones down. The vibrations tend to mean that you lose traction and you lose grip with your rear tire that's driving the bike, and with that you end up almost putting in borderline a quarter more power into the bike just to try and make it move forward at the same sort of pace as you would on normal tarmac road.
So we await the bell, and as you can see, the local colleges have really tipped out here, schools and colleges. 300,000 inhabitants in this lovely city of Sumgayit. And we're back to a quartet with a chaser having, in fact, this is a breakaway from the nose of the pack, but that's Bora that are in determined mood here. Jan Barter not expected to be the main feature today. It might well be tomorrow in the more rolling terrain where we've got 2 Category 2 climbs and a Category 1 towards the end with a rolling descent down towards Ismaili. But right now we're on our city circuit. 5 laps to be taken. It'll be the bell next time by as they come to the crowd, and a few chops and turns back onto the cobbled section, as you can see, and the rattling therein. So nobody tempted to go for it just yet from this quartet, which has now reformed. We've got somebody from Astana City team that's come across. It's Nikita Stalnov joining Aribas in the lead. 15 kilometers remaining then, and well, they say 18 seconds, but to my mind that's down to about 6 or 7 right now. Some of the enthusiastic flag wavers just catching the helmets of Bora Argon as they come by. Tavira seem to be a little bit out of shape at the moment, especially as you consider they've got David de la Fuente amongst their number, he who wore the polka dot jersey on the Tour de France back in 2006. And Dindo Nocentini as well has found a home here at Sporting Tavira. Lovely part of the world that is, back in Portugal, and this is a lovely part of the world as well. Bora chasing on, still with a quartet, nearly caught, not over just yet, and occasionally you just see riders pushing on, but not just for the time being. Here we are.
The Rusvelo riders are sitting very well near the front there as well, grouped together, so they're clearly quite keen on making sure that they got all of the men ready for a potential sprint finish.
Yes, indeed. Well, I think it's the bell next time by, incidentally, but we shall see. So we await the grand finale, I think it's fair to say. Gosh, you can see how the back wheel, exactly what you're saying, Magnus, you just can't get the torque down if you're constantly being kicked up, and it causes you to stall on your pedal stroke.
Well, yeah, well, stalling on the pedal stroke is, I'm not sure it's the right word to use, but it's certainly every time you're pedaling, you're effectively losing certain parts of the drive going forward, and with that, you know, you're slowing down, so you're having to put more effort in to keep the pace up. And riders are certainly they're getting quite keen on making their moves and trying to set up another attack. And this is the danger when you bring in a breakaway back. There's new moves going up the road, and well, these ones could be dangerous.
It is. It's Jesus Rubio who has gone for this. He's absolutely pushed on, and he's determined to make the break, and he's done so. He's got a goodly distance at the moment. It'll be the bell this time by, we remind you, with 1 lap remaining, and he's been allowed off the hook. That's a long way out to go by yourself, Magnus.
It's a very long way out, but you never know. You know, it's if you can get another couple of riders bridging across to him, then all of a sudden you got a dangerous group up there. And like we said, there's not an awful lot of riders for every team that can effectively ride. And the man from NASR-Dubai is certainly putting the power down here.
He's had a good season. He won the Circuit d'Alger in Algeria recently, and was 12th in the Dubai Tour at the top of the year, so he's quite used to laying down the power when he needs to, especially in this sort of company at this level. And by the look of him, he means business, but how sustainable this is. It's been a long old day today. 154 kilometers probably doesn't sound terribly long, but to be honest, they've been going at a reasonable speed throughout the day, and he's certainly going at full chat right now.
Well, yeah, the shorter the stages are, the faster the guys go. You know, it's not always that you have to have the mega long stages to get a hard bike race. Actually, true. Sometimes the shorter the stages, the faster they go, and the more difficult it becomes to control as well. And because everyone's capable to go going at borderline their maximum paces. We've got a man bridging up here now.
Yeah, just trying to get over to him from Astana City. This is
Stalnov.
The principal. Yeah, Nikita Stalnov. Reasonably handy he is as well. But for the time being, Rubio is maintaining it. And he's decided, I think, potentially to form an alliance, has he? They take a big turn as they head back towards the finish line, the start-finish line of this circuit, as you can see. They've got to go up along this other leg before they come back around. You can see the security vehicles marking out the path that they're going to take. Still nobody overly motivated to chase this down. I think they're going to let him hang and fry, but he's got company. There we are. Nikita Stalnov, reasonably handy rider himself, just takes a short toot, comes alongside, and the commissaire's counting them down, telling them as to how many times they've crossed the line. Here we are then, looking back at Bora, just chasing on, also looking reasonably handy. Silinu Baku Cycling Project. Now they've got Tamaridis and Avarin who can go very, very quickly. We saw earlier on that Asadov for that team was up there. He's the time trialist that we were talking about. A good spread here as well. The Bridgestone anchor team from Japan up here. That's Ryo Suzuki. He can certainly rev it up when he needs to. And just a little bit further back, you can see NASR-Dubai as well, also in the frame. So just 2 riders with it. They've got some real ambition here, and there is the line. They've got to cross this and then essentially do themselves one more lap. 500 meters from the line, and I think they're quite happy to let them hang just for the time being. Gazprom making a nuisance of themselves up through the center in a good way, I'm talking. And here we are, and he's gone again. Jesus Rubio has, well, he's pushed on. He's on full attack. Well, why isn't he sharing any duties? I think he thinks it's all over. This is the 5th passage of the line. He does. He's celebrating. It's all too early, my friend. There's another lap to go. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's a miscount, Magnus. We mentioned that it can be an issue, and they're saying, look, race on, for goodness sake. Keep going. This is the race commissaire saying, come on, you've got another lap to go. Well, let's see what his reaction is when... Oh, that's nice. That's nice. He's accepting his error. And Nikita Stalnov comes across.
Well, that's an early one if I've ever seen an early celebration.
It's easy done. I've seen it in the the Tour of Langkawi, actually, where they got the count wrong. And in fact, the race director called it wrong, and most of them sprinted for the penultimate lap. Others raced on, and then they had to make a decision, and they declared it at the race director's wrong count.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's right. So it was shortened on the word of the race director. But there we are. This time, it was all down to Jesus Rubio, who decided to go for it. Well, no wonder he was looking busy, Magnus. He thought it was nearly over. It's not quite.
Well, yeah, it's certainly one that he's not going to forget in any time.
10 kilometers to go for those that have just crossed the start-finish line of our circuit today. And 2 guys up the road, one of whom thought he'd actually won the opening stage and taken the leader's jersey. Sadly for him, he was mistaken. He got his counting wrong. I've got a feeling he may well have been misdirected, possibly by the motorcycle that was close to him, although the motorcycle realised his mistake very, very quickly. And I'm making excuses on behalf of Rubio, but when you say there's 5 laps to be done and you cross the line 5 times, you possibly think that's it, but it's actually 6 times if it's 5 laps.
There's usually one pretty good sign that is the final lap, and that's when the bell goes off.
Exactly, but I couldn't see or hear the bell, to be honest, because of maybe the cheering of the school children, not quite sure. Anyway, we'll forgive him. He seemed to take it in good spirit, though, nonetheless.
Yeah, you kind of have to at that point, don't you?
Yes, yeah, good to see them. Sumgayit City Square beckons, and once you hear the cheers, you know that you're getting reasonably close. The 2 leaders have stayed out here for quite some time. I think it might well be handshake time, because the chase now is a pretty effective one. And Bora, to my mind, have to start today as favourites. Who are you picking out as potential winners today, Magnus?
Well, it's certainly, I think, down to Bora with their whole team there, really. They got a couple of fast men in there. You know, Bauhaus is quick, Scott Thwaite is quick, Schillinger is not a slow man either, nor is really Jan Barta, to be honest. But, yeah, apart from those guys, we haven't really got a massive amount of Giuseppe Fonzi. Check-in maybe for Team Roth, Tamuridis for Baku. Thomas Weitkus is another man for NASR-Dubai here, who's
watch Luca Wackermann actually as well, his teammate. The pair of them pretty handy for NASR-Dubai, and the Dubai team, they're not short of a few bob, and they can actually buy in some real talent. And Luca Wackermann is one of those. He's only 24 years of age, formerly of Lamprey, and I think probably a good gamble at this level. Thomas Weitkus as well. He's the veteran, 34 years of age now. Been around the block a few times.
I spent a few years with Weitkus on the circuit.
He was a Giro winner, a stage winner, wasn't he? At one time?
I believe so. Yes.
Probably about 10 years ago now.
But I think one of the interesting guys is going to be Scott Sunderland as well for Team Illuminate. Although they're not really all that illuminated, riding around in pitch black jerseys and shorts.
They are. It's a new look, and almost devoid of any kind of sponsorship. It does look pretty good, I think, as a jersey. It's got a bright orange zip straight down the middle, or it looks like that anyway. It's possibly a stripe. Team Ultimate it is. Griffin Easter is their principal, but Scott Sunderland can go very, very quickly, the 28-year-old Australian. He's got Ali Ray as well, the Kiwi, and the Scotsons, Callum and Miles, are also here, the youngsters. So will Illuminate light it up? I guess we're going to find out. So these guys, handshake's done, and as if by magic, Team Felbermeyer and NASR-Dubai come through. Wackermann and Weitkus have called for action. Let's see how they go.
Well, definitely they got to take this on, and with such a strong train as they have as well. You know, Thomas Weitkus, he's not only a fast lead-out man, he's also a very strong general all-round rider who's been able to do very well in the classics before. But yeah, this looks like it's Gazprom on the front.
Certainly is, and our time trialists, Evtushenko, the number 21, just behind him, Kulimbetov, and he looks like the protected rider with Arslanov just behind. There we are. Number 196 just being picked out for us here. I think it was actually Plebani, David Plebani, who they were looking for. Mauro Finetto as well. They're from the Uni-Euro-Viglia team of Italy, and again another well-marshalled outfit.
I would have thought they would go for Malaguti for this though, but you never know what's going on out there on the bikes. The riders are feeling good, they're not feeling good, and it's also coming down to how the sprint is, who does the sprint actually suit. And to my mind, this would actually suit Thomas Weitkus quite well, because he's a man who actually tends to sprint seated an awful lot, which on the cobblestones will not be a bad thing at all to maintain some sort of grip on the cobblestones. Actually getting out of the saddle will be difficult on this final couple of 100 meters.
Well, apparently it's Plebani, their youngster, who's the man who's going to be led in. Lead-out man is Mauro Finetto, but we'll see how it pans out. But Malaguti, yes, a handy rider indeed. This is Gazprom then that are doing the pacing and trying to shake out the legs of some of the quick men, and this is their time trialists doing what they do best at the moment, just sapping everybody else.
Well, just keeping a high enough pace that no one really is bothering their sprinter, and stringing the peloton out as well. It means that they keep in control. Everything is calm around their sprinter, and yeah, I mean they're probably taking the legs off a few other lead-out trains that are trying to challenge. You can see the guys from Uni-Euro on the left-hand side in darker blue colours. They're trying to maintain their position and sit up near Gazprom, and that will, you know, wear out the riders. Certainly the rider on the front are taking the win for Uni-Euro.
They certainly are at the moment. We've had almost a constant breeze actually today, blowing around 23, 24 kilometers.
There's a crash down the back there.
There is, and plenty of them as well. Just hoping that everyone stays safe and okay, despite their tumble. In fact, that's within the last 3 Ks, so they may well get credited with the they won't lose too much time, let's put it that way. Team Ultimate really are in a proper line, and chasing in Drapac also getting involved. That's Jason Lowndes they're going to be working for, one suspects. Will Clark as well, if Lowndes is not feeling up to it. That's the men in the red with the white accent on the left hand side of the road. Dead centre of proceedings for the time being. Bora are there, and Gazprom. It seems to belong to them, the party.
Well, Bora are certainly, they have 2 guys up ahead of the Drapac riders, and then they got another 2 riders behind the Drapac riders. It's almost like they're effectively working together for in the final kilometers of this stage.
Well, maybe they want to share it just for the time being. They'll tear up any alliance as we get deeper into this race. 5 stages, we remind you, and you can see highlights each night on Eurosport 2. Here we are then, this little S snake which introduces us to the road to the cobbles. And the cobbles here mean prizes, because if you hit those first, you're in a decent place. This looks like a very decent approach by Gazprom as we stand. I'm not sure who their chosen man is going to be. Indeed, whether they're going to be able to sustain it. They tried to sap everybody's strength, but there's some very quick teams out here, not least Synergy Baku Cycling in the sort of red accent here. You can see Murguli getting into position, probably trying to stay reasonably safe. Fatsina went very, very well, as you know, in the Tour of Croatia. And he's here, he's made the trip as well. So some riders on great form, and now they've got to deliver. A bit of leaning going on, as you can see, as Bridgestone anchor just try and make a nuisance of themselves, and finding some space out there. This is good, and that's Illuminate are there, and so are NASR-Dubai, with Wackermann getting into place. It's that sort of royal blue that we're looking at right now. It's not that distinct from Gazprom, I'm afraid, but they are there. So are Bora, though. Look at them looming large, the men with the black with the red helmets, and Drapac nearly all red. And the last couple of curves now on the approach, Magnus.
Yeah, coming in towards the finish here now. Gazprom has still got a very good control of the bunch, and their time trialists have just done a phenomenal job in keeping everyone near the front, and actually taking an enormously long turn on the front there at a very high pace as well. Everyone's stringing out, coming through these corners as well.
Maybe too long a pace. Part of that, what apparently is Gazprom, is actually NASR-Dubai, just a couple of riders back as well. Also, Tavira are involved here. Nocentini trying to stay safe, as you can see. It's really strung out. It's a good job that Gazprom have done to maybe begging a few gaps here to be counted.
Well, there may be so. It all depends on what happens in the final couple of turns there as well. Those are going to be the difficult ones for all the riders. When the pace is so high, coming out of the corner, and you get the rubber band effect, and the elastic tends to snap after a while. But I'm really impressed with Gazprom here.
Sorry, Magnus. Dukla Bastica are also involved, just over towards the far side of the road as we look at it right now. Yes, Gazprom really have laid it down. Just at the back of Gazprom, I believe that is Wackermann, who's kind of invading their train. Here come the Felbermeyer boys as well. This is for Daniel Shawn, by the way, a paler blue with a dark sash across the chest. We'll see how they go. So, just hiding themselves, as you can see, it really is strung out from top to tail. It's a long old way. Here's the Flamme Rouge. The leaders have already gone through it, and these guys stuck at the back are going to have to try and make amends later on in this race. So, here we are then, and Bora in perfect pouncing position, I'll be bound. Scott Sunderland is on his own now for Illuminate in what looks like an all-black jersey from up here. He's moving up. So are a few others as well. Wackermann making his move again, all on his own in the darker blue there. He's basically embedded within the Bora train. That's a clever thing to do if you can make it stick. So Wackermann's in here, so is Sunderland in the all black. But it looks like it's about Bora. Who's it going to be for them? Is it going to be Schwarzman and Schillinger? They're both here, but I think it's going to be Bauhaus. Let's have a look. 300 meters to go. We need a heads-up shot of this. Urgently, I would say. Camera needs to switch so that we can see who is on the approach, and finally we get it, and that's Sunderland in the near all black here for Illuminate that's going for this. Sunderland's been beaten here though by the looks of things, and Bauhaus is going to take this one. Bauhaus gets it. Sunderland coming home in second place. Wackermann also in the frame for NASR-Dubai. Boivin Tamaridis as well. Not quite sure who finished outside of the top 5, but I think certainly Lowndes was in there for Drapac, but they kind of messed that up, Drapac, late on.
Yeah, they didn't quite get it right in the final couple of 100 meters, maybe spending a bit too much energy early on, and you could see the experience of the Bora Argon 18 team, just waiting, holding back, and then really with just before the final corner, just pouncing on it and going through. They actually got too many riders really at this point on the front, and yeah, they've still done a phenomenal job, I'd say.
That's Scott Sunderland. At that point, I thought he was going to take it, but Phil Bauhaus, now he finished in Japan, was runner-up on stage 3A, the morning run, don't forget, just behind Marcel Kittel. And the youngster is showing what he can do, and with this, he leads 3 categories. Overall, the points, and of course the young riders competition as well. He'll be wearing blue as our GC man tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. You can see coming in onto the cobblestones here as well is where he's really sits down before a massive skid on his wheel as he comes onto the cobblestones, but seated, staying in there, just powering on the gear that he has. And you can see he's just starting to tie up a little bit, but he had it under control.
You can still see the back wheel slipping even in the final pedal strokes as he got to the line. He was trying to put down a lot of power there. Well, good bike handling skills as well by the youngster. Incidentally, in that race in Japan, when he lost out to Kittel, he beat Christoph, he beat Mezgec. He's taken some big scalps, and today he's the race leader here. Yeah,
stage win, race lead. Job done for Bora Argon 18. That's what they set out to do before the stage, according to Jan Barta.
Well, there you go. Job well done. Jan Barta, part of it, of course. That's Silvio Herklotz, and indeed the rest of the team just dropping in to say well done, including Jan Barta himself, who sits down upon his top tube and just says well done, mate. They cracked it. Phil Bauhaus then takes the day ahead of Scott Sunderland, Luca Wackermann, Guillaume Boivin, and Tomaridis. Sean, incidentally, in 6th place ahead of Plebani, Lowndes, Finetto, and Chikin. Can only be one winner, though, and we found him. It's the youngster, Phil Bauhaus. Well, he's going to be up and down on this stage like a yo-yo. He's taken the day, so he gets himself a medal. He'll get flowers and kisses. Then he'll be back out to take the leader's jersey. Flowers, more kisses. Then the points jersey. Flowers.
More kisses.
Yep. And then the young rider's jersey. Flowers. No
Okay.
kisses.
No?
Too young. Yeah.
Censored, is it?
All right, kisses. Yeah, so he's going to have a big flower collection, and indeed trophy, I believe. There we are. Well, there we are. Good day's racing. Decent opener in this Tour of Azerbaijan, Magnus.
Yeah, certainly interesting stage, and certainly the final couple of kilometers they were very eventful and quite interesting to see as well the Gazprom riders. I was very impressed with how they held it together and kept the pace so high for such a long period of time with the use of very few riders. I think they've just potentially lost their concentration a fraction when the rest of the teams came on and started challenging them, but nevertheless, very, very good ride.
Oh, it's a blue jersey. There we are.
Flowers.
This is what it'll be. Yep, kisses. It's all coming his way. It looked quite cool about the whole thing, I must admit. Not sure how long we're going to stay with the ceremonies here, but one suspects it may well be for quite some time. So just talk amongst yourselves for a little while. You could probably bake a scone, actually, by the time he manages to get the last of his jerseys today. If the oven's already hot. Here we are then. He pulls on the leader's jersey, so you'll be seeing him in what will become rather familiar to you a little bit later on. Should we have a chat with him? Come on.
Congratulations with your victory today. Can you guide us a bit through the stage?
Yeah, at the beginning, one rider was in the front and no one wanted to chase. Then we decided to chase with one rider from us. And yeah, at the end, I think 2 or 3 riders were in the front, and Chile and Jan Barta did a really good job to chase. And then at the end, the lead out was perfect. And 200 meters to go, I could start my sprint, and yeah, then I took the win.
What does this victory mean to you?
Yeah, it's my first win since I'm pro, and my first win in the Bora Argon 18 jersey. So yeah, really nice.
Nice. Do you see other opportunities this week, or?
Yeah, I think maybe the third stage could also be a sprint, and I think the last stage is a chance for the sprinters. So yeah, maybe 2 chances more.
Thank you. Enjoy the win.
Good man. Our king of the mountain, he deserved this. This is the man who went up the road very early. This is Zamri Saleh, and the only man who is not Bauhaus owning a jersey. That belongs to him, and by rights as well. He went for it. Only one categorised climb today. I imagine he'll probably try and get in the early break tomorrow as well. And the ladies are going to have to bend down in order to deliver here, I'm afraid. There we are. He's a pocket rocket par excellence. We'll see whether he manages to get in the break early tomorrow and grab a few more points. It's his battle plan, clearly. So there we are. There's your points classification. Phil Bauhaus leads that, so it'll be worn by Scott Sunderland, the green jersey, tomorrow, but it's nursed on behalf of Bauhaus. Do you know what? I think we're going to see all the jerseys here today. Well, we've gone jersey-tastic, Magnus.
It certainly seems like it.
So worn by Sunderland tomorrow. Scott Sunderland, the Aussie, from Team Illuminate, which is actually an American team, but there you go. We've got Griffin Easter for them. He's the sole representative of the United States. Oh, and they're playing the theme from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I hope they've cleared that with Mr. Lucas. Otherwise they might owe him a few bob. Do you think we're going to see him again for the young riders jersey? They spared us. Here we are, stage 2. We're heading to Ismaili, who will be smiling tomorrow as we leave Baku and head 186 kilometers in total. It's the longest stage, Magnus. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting stage. A lot of climbing to be done, and certainly a different type of stage to what we had today.
3 categorised climbs along the way. Here's the parkour. It suddenly kicks up. That dastardly ravine has got a warning on it about the descent. Let's hope everyone stays safe. Tour of Azerbaijan, it's underway. 4 more stages to come. We've enjoyed ourselves. Hope you have too. My name's Carlton Kirby, sitting alongside me, Magnus Backstead. We will see you tomorrow for more from Azerbaijan.